Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. My Hollywood spies told me 2 years ago that Disney was going to move away from wokeness, take politics out of programming, and end the abuse of fans by hostile woke employees and associates. At the time, there was much skepticism in the Phantom Menace, but I've been tracking this ever since. And now I have found yet another indication that indeed, Disney has had a belly full of the controversy and terrible publicity that has come from the extreme wokeness of their Iger-hired employees. Submitted for your approval, a recent article in The Hollywood Reporter that bolsters the notion that Bob Chapek, the Republican CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation, is indeed moving against the woke elements in his company, firing and silencing these people just as I predicted. In a recent article in The Hollywood Reporter titled Hollywood's Chief Diversity Officers Tell All, there's a very interesting section in the middle of the article that speaks volumes if you understand what to look for. Bear in mind, this article interviewed a whole bunch of chief diversity officers from a number of Hollywood studios and corporations speaking out in support of wokeness, diversity, and what have you, tying it in to the tragedy that befell George Floyd and shocked the nation. So this was basically a fairly pro-woke article where CDOs, or Chief Diversity Officers as they are known, were speaking out. So notice what happens in this article when they come to that part about Disney. The article reads, quote, "This year, after Florida's legislature passed the Don't Say Gay bill banning teachers from discussing gender and sexual orientation in classrooms, Disney, given its theme parks and significant investment in the state, came under pressure from its employees for its financial contributions to anti-gay Florida officials, as well as its initial silence over the legislation. On March 2nd, CDO LaTondra Newton sent out an internal statement titled Showing Support for Our LGBTQ+ Community, promising that the company would discuss the issues of concern at gatherings scheduled for March 22nd and April 13th. Our hope in having a CDO would be to hold the company to account rather than release statements that toe the company line," read a response to Disney leadership signed by the queer/LGBTQIA+ employees of the Walt Disney Company and their allies that was posted on social media March 8th. "We need an advocate, not a figurehead. Disney declined to make Newton available for comment, but our counterparts acknowledged the skepticism that surrounds the job. We're trying to make a change within a capitalist corporate situation, so you have to be a lot of different people for a lot of different people," says Netflix's Myers. "I try to stay close to the people experiencing the most direct impact, and you have to come up and down the organizational ranks. As a leader, to the extent I can, I communicate the stakes and details. Sometimes you have to call people out, but you've got to do it in a compassionate way that they still want to be part of the change," unquote. So I included the quote from Netflix's CDO Myers as an example of these people speaking out about diversity, engineering social change, what have you. The point being, the article was full of this kind of talk from representatives of all the major studios in Hollywood, and yet Disney declined to make Newton available for comment. Folks, this is huge. And to understand why this is huge, I need to give you a little background, so I beg your indulgence. Let's go back to the ground zero of the whole sorry affair, the so-called and inaccurately named Don't Say Gay bill. If you recall, when that bill came out, Bob Chapek got in trouble with the wokeista fascists inside Disney because he didn't speak out about it. Unlike his woke employees, Chapek recognizes that Disney is an entertainment company. They are not a PAC. They are not in the business of making public service announcements or getting embroiled in politics, much as the woke wankers would like to hijack Disney into becoming a subservient arm of the LGBTQIA MOUSE movement. Disney is an entertainment company, and so Chapek did not want to make a statement about the Florida bill, and the woketivists within the company went apeshit. How dare Bob Chapek not speak out? At the time, Chapek explained that when a corporation speaks out about political issues, it rarely moves the needle, rarely changes anyone's mind, but can easily be weaponized against the corporation. So that's why he didn't speak out. Well, subsequently, the Igerites within the company staged a Disney walkout and forced a company-wide meeting called Reimagine Tomorrow that was an orgy of self-satisfied wokeness where they declared that moving forward, everything Disney did would be crammed full of queerness, proclaiming Disney's not-at-all secret gay agenda, and lo and behold, everything unfolded exactly as Bob Chapek said it would. The insanely woke Reimagine Tomorrow videos got leaked. They were indeed weaponized against Disney, and as a result, Disney is suffering real losses. Their movies are underperforming badly, and their public approval rating has plummeted to 33%. Chapek was right, and he knew it, but he played along with these wokeistas within Disney for two reasons: to embolden them and make them feel secure enough to reveal who they were for later targeting, and to demonstrate to the board that Chapek was correct with his theory. Corporations getting involved in woke politics get burned when their own statements get weaponized against them. It was a brilliant strategy, albeit a costly one, as Disney is now paying the price for their lack of vision. But that was all Chapek biding his time. A strategic withdrawal, as I said. But now that Chapek has been renewed for 3 years by the board, the changes are coming fast and furious to Disney. The first huge move Chapek made was firing Peter Rice with no hoopla, no dithering. Rice was there and gone in 7 minutes, and it shook the company to its core, shook Hollywood to its core as well, because Rice was a board member of the Walter Keitz Foundation, one of the leading sources of wokeness in Hollywood. Peter Rice was, I am told, one of the organizers of the Disney walkout and an ally of Disney Chief Diversity Officer LaTondra Newton. So look at what has happened, folks. The article says Disney declined to make Newton available for comment, which is a fancy way of saying Chapek shut Newton up. There's no other interpretation, my friends. It means that LaTondra wanted to shoot her mouth off about queerness and diversity and other woke wonders to get her message out in a major venue, and Chapek shut her down. As Cameron Pashaw put it on his Patreon page, quote, "The fact that this happened at the Chapek-friendly Hollywood Reporter is also significant. Chapek is signaling to the town that he's no longer participating in the virtue signaling game. He's over it, and so is the rest of the company," unquote. Thus it is as I predicted 2 years ago on this very channel, folks. Chapek is moving forward with his plan to drag Disney kicking and screaming back to the sensible center, to curb the wokeness within the organization, to prevent extremists from hijacking Disney's mission, which, moving forward, is going to focus on making money and getting away from the divisive politics, the hidden agendas in programming, the abuse of fans at the hands of the wokesters. It is unlikely that Chapek will eliminate LaTondra Newton as CDO, and the CDO position will surely remain purely for its PR value as a CYA gimmick. And while Disney will certainly continue its policies of diversity for internal hires and whatnot, the end result is going to be what we fans have been wanting for years: a family-friendly, politically neutral Disney that isn't attempting to brainwash us or our kids. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry and rest assured, we are winning the war on woke. It's only a matter of time.